How do everybody? It is Tuesday. Welcome to Dark Side and TV Movie Reviews. A special welcome if you are a guest here. Like I always say, this is the best community here on YouTube, and we hope that you enjoy this video, and we hope that you will join us after we are done. So today we are going to talk my top 5 action adventure movies of all time. Let me say this at the beginning, because people are going to have a problem with my list. I'm fine with that. But if you have an issue with my list, then what you have to do is you have to make sure you put your own list in the comment section, and you will see how hard it is to do a list like this. When you're talking about the top 5 action adventure movies of all time, it's a hard list to do. Anyway, I'm game. Here is my list. We'll go from 5 to my number 1. Make sure you watch this whole video and be prepared to get into it in the comments. So, starting at number 5 for me is Star Wars. When I was a kid, I loved Star Wars, and I thought, oh my gosh, like this is the most immersive, imaginative piece of filmmaking I have ever seen. From the beginning credits and how they have the scrolling words and the whole galaxy far, far away, I loved almost every aspect of this movie. But the fact that this movie is able to really transport you and pull you into a grand adventure of really quite literally, right, like galactic proportions is phenomenal. The different races that we meet, the different creatures that we meet, the political nuance that's really kind of the overtone of the story, even though when I was a kid I didn't know any of that. All of it's such great movie making, not to mention the performances. Every aspect of this movie I really, really enjoyed. So you might be thinking, well, good grief, you like it that much, Al? How come it's not number 1? Because it's not quite as low on the list as some of the other ones. Well, low meaning closer to 1. You guys know what I mean. So it doesn't quite beat out some of the other ones, but Star Wars comes in as number 5 on my list. Number 4, The Matrix. The whole concept of this movie was groundbreaking to me, and the way that they executed this idea of, look, what if what you think is going on is not actually as things are, and all that you think is real, all that you think is reality is something different. You're actually plugged up to a machine that's feeding you this. And this movie explores that whole idea, which really makes you think about like a lot of other life things, right? This movie's pretty philosophical, as a matter of fact. But it's really interesting because it explores the idea of what if you could change it, though? What if you could see what was real and that thing was in opposition to what you've always believed? Would you take that trip, or would you stay where you are and just continue to live the lie, so to speak? I love the way this movie executes that whole concept and explores the whole concept, and it's such a grand adventure to see how they execute the action sequences, all of that in this movie. The performances are great. Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, all those folks were great in this, and the fight choreo is amazing. Not surprised, because they hired a Hong Kong cinematographer for that, and we all know how well Hong Kong cinematography is, or fight cinematography is, compared to US cinematography. So all the different elements in this movie really makes it a movie that's really enjoyable to watch. And this movie has high rewatch value too, because it's so epic in its scope, and the ideas that it explores is just phenomenal. Number 3, Infinity War. Man, for all the superhero fans out there, how long have you waited to see something like this on the big screen? And if you love the Infinity War story in the comics, I mean, just think about that. Think about how much you love that story, and now to be able to see a big screen adaptation that, no, it's not exactly like the comics, but it's done so well. This movie was amazing. Loved almost every aspect of it. There were some parts of the storyline where I was like, but it didn't overshadow my enjoyment of the film. Easily one of the most epic action adventure films that I have seen. And the way that this thing makes me feel every time I watch it is amazing. It is one great piece of filming. Number 2, John Wick. JW, man. I didn't even know what to say when I left the theater from John Wick. I mean, my mouth was open. All I can tell you is that the level of enjoyment I had with this film was phenomenal. Almost every aspect of this pulled me in, but the biggest thing for me about John Wick was the world building. When you just think about how John Wick lives in this world that, don't forget, is a world set amongst us, yet we have no idea that it's going on, because that world has so many of its own rules, rituals, mores. and we get to be pulled into that world and to see how it operates. It's super fascinating. So the way that the world building was executed in this movie really makes it interesting, and it's so consistent, right? Like every aspect of what we see in this movie is a part of the world, really kind of separate from our own. Their own money, a place where they have rules, the Continental Hotel, all these different edicts, all these different things going on around us, and we don't even know it. The performances, oh man, the performances were so great. Keanu Reeves, William Dafoe, Ian McShane. Woo-wee! This almost made #1 on my list because I love the John Wick movies. So, #1, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Everything about this movie screams action adventure. This is the best book to film adaptation that I have ever seen. And a lot of you guys, depending on your age, probably read this story when you were a kid. The way that they bring this story to life and at such an epic scale is nothing short of amazing. Do you know why the Lord of the Rings franchise has such high rewatch value? You could have seen it like 10 times, but you'll watch it again and feel the same way every time, is because the story is told in such a grand fashion, but at the same time with meticulous detail in every facet of the way that this film is done. So there it is. There's my top 5. What do you think about that list? Did you like that? Or are you thinking, well, wait a minute, Al. No Raiders of the Lost Ark? No Hunger Games? Where's all of that kind of stuff? You dropped a ball, man. Whole bunch of movies you could have put on that list that you left out. Are you crazy? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'm actually fascinated to see how you guys would rank your top 5. I really would love to see how you would rank your top 5. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much, as always, for joining us. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the best community here on YouTube. Guys, comment, like this video. It really does help YouTube to show this video to more folks so that we can expand our community, and that is one of the things that we are trying to do. And watch time is very important as well. That's why you hear me say it at the beginning of most videos. Sometimes I have something really important to share with you, sometimes I don't, but watch the whole thing because YouTube values watch time, and that's a great way for us to expand and build the community. Thanks as always. Remember again to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.